it goes back to something which is really, really fundamental, and we should have it in another seminar. It is how prices are determined in a modern capitalist system. Because what we are teaching in the textbooks is utter nonsense. Usually when I teach people in the business community, they say, Howard, what are you teaching us? We know all this stuff that you're teaching us. That's the way we actually set prices. And I say to them, well, if you spend a little bit of time with me, I will take you through some of the textbooks. They have another view of how prices are determined and set, which leads them to actually this type of printing money explanations of the price level. Whereas, in my view, inflation is caused fundamentally by cost increases, and primary commodities are one of the most important. But ask yourself, why for 30 years, and this is important, why, no matter what governments have done, no matter how much money they have printed, why have we had inflation falling for 30 years worldwide? Why? Is it because the central banks stopped printing and cut the money supply? No. They did the opposite. What happened is the greatest change in productivity that we have ever seen. Before, we would produce 10 cars in one day. Now we can produce 1,000, maybe 10,000 cars in a day. Okay, it's that enormous gain in productivity right throughout the whole system, which has driven prices down, China being one of the most important elements in all of that. So actually, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You see, Sri Lankan central bankers, I saw many of them congratulating themselves, saying, you see how we brought prices under control? Nonsense. A Federal Reserve central bankers saying the same thing. In fact, what brought prices down is this immense increase in productivity, which is normal at this stage of the long business cycle. Now we're going to move up the long business cycle, and we will have about 30 years of rising prices. This is more or less given, more or less an absolute fact. And it doesn't matter what governments do. You will absolutely be guaranteed this is going to happen, because it's happened for the last 400 years. We have seen prices rise for about 30 odd years, then they fall for about 30 to 40 years. Okay? This is the elephant in the room again. No matter what the governments did, you saw the prices keep falling. The one thing everyone ignores is productivity, because that drops the unit costs of production massively.